Hello everybody. So today it is a beautiful day and I'm going to do my RnineT 5 things I love, 5 things I hate. And I don't know if I love, hate, whatever, those are strong terms, right? But you know, normally everybody does that on there. But let's go for a little ride and I'll give you guys what my thoughts are on the 5 things that I really like about this bike and the 5 things that I don't. One of the things that I just love about this bike is I love the aggressiveness. I really like, you know, the bike, and it's just an aggressive feeling bike. You know, that's a thing that I do like. I like the looks of it. I'll stop and I'll take some photos and pictures and stuff like that. Hey, I just got done doing a little bit of a test ride here and doing my 5 things I love and 5 things I hate about my RnineT. So we'll see what about it. And hopefully you guys can hear me with my new Rode mics. But yeah, so let me get that tucked in there. Yeah, it's a beautiful looking bike. It's great. Love it. It's absolutely fantastic. So again, beautiful day here in Ohio, and you can't get much of these, which is always fantastic, especially on St. Patty's Day. So yeah, so 5 things I love, 5 things I hate, and let's go over that list. So I did write down a list. The one thing that I do like is the Aggressive Engine. This is, if you know anything about the RnineT, they are aggressive. Mine's a Scrambler, obviously. And but the engine's fantastic. It's aggressive. It really wants to get up into 4th, 5th, and 6th gear. So it is fantastic. You can see I added a few pieces here. I put that on there, put that on there. But and I had another video. You guys could see that. But it's aggressive engine. Love it. It's fantastic. Can't complain about that. So that's probably my #1 thing. The styling, obviously, it's a beautiful color. Again, this was an option. It took about 6 months for me to get this, but I love it. And part of that reason is because I had all the Billet, the 719 package, which obviously is another piece that I think is fantastic from BMW. I think they did a nice job. You know, you've got the brake levers, you've got the special you know, covers for the boxer. You've got, look at that, the clutch lever, the pegs, even the passenger pegs are special here. So, you know, there's a lot to be said. When you look at the mirrors, they even did the nice options for the, you know, brake and for the reservoirs and everything like that. So yeah, it's a great piece there. I think the other thing that I would say is the throttle response. The throttle is tremendous. I mean, you know, some bikes might have a little bit of play and stuff into them. This does not, and I think that just alludes to the racer type piece. So yeah, there's a lot to be said about that. And then the control of the bike, the overall control. I don't know if it's the ergonomics or what do you want to call it, but the overall, like, you know, it's a pretty heavy bike. I'll have to get the numbers and tell you. But, you know, and I guess it's not that heavy compared to my 1250 GS. But at the end of the day, it's a boxer. And, you know, the balance is beautiful on it. But the steering and controllability, the suspension on it, it just really is, I would tell you, easy to control in the corners. I even have the knobby tires that you can see on here, right? So the 5 things that I don't like, and I will tell you, #1 is the seat. Beautiful looking seat, fantastic. Now, I'm a big guy, but there is just not much padding there. And I would tell you that it is a little hard. And after probably, I would say about an hour, hour and a half on it, it does start to wear on you a little bit. So I would say that's probably my #1 complaint. And I know you guys, there's a lot of people that have done new seats and put some, you know, stuff into them, but I would tell you that's probably my #1 piece that I would recommend. The other thing, electronics, no gas gauge. So I even added, so this is another thing that I did add, this is not standard on the bike. You do not get a second tachometer, but I did put this one on here, and it does not give you a fuel gauge. Now, you get a fuel warning when you're down, you know, low gas, but I would tell you that I find that when you're spending close to 20 grand on a bike like this, and you're adding all the extras, that not get a fuel gauge is, I don't know, kind of weird, but maybe it's because it's the classics and something that they don't, you know, put on here. But I just find for 20 grand that that's a little bit redonkulous in my estimation. Big guy again, seating position's fine just because it's a racer mode. For me, but I'm tall, I'm 6'2", so my legs feel a little cramped, like they're up. So that's probably #3 for me, is just a little bit of the ergonomics, but maybe it's just because I'm such a big guy and being on a more of a racer style bike is a little bit rough. So that's just for me. Now, #4 would probably be the tail end. Now, I think everything else about this bike looks fantastic. I think they might have been able to do something a little bit different. Let me get out of the stop blocking here, but maybe a little bit different with the tail end, just to dress it up a little bit. I find that maybe is like my #4. They could have done something a little bit better there. Maybe, you know, that's all plastic and stuff like that. So, you know, they could have maybe done that a little bit differently, especially if you're doing the billet package. And then really, you know, from there, I'm supposed to have #5, but if anything, I would say, and again, I got these in order. I said the seat, no gas gauge, which I was kind of shocked at. And then I put down, you know, the rear end here. And I would tell you probably, as much as I like the aggressiveness of the engine, I don't get much out of first, second, and third gear. You've got immediately almost, it feels to me like you've got to almost get to fourth gear, fourth, fifth, and sixth gear. Now, I know that's what this bike loves to live in, but at the end of the day, I would love it to be a little bit more playful in second and third gear, especially if you're around city. I feel like I'm constantly shifting up and down. So that gives you an idea there. And then that's about it. Realistically, you know, and you really can't have a bag here. You know, this is where the foot pegs are for, you know, if you're looking here, this is where the foot peg is for the passenger ride. So if you had this bag on here and tried to take a passenger, this would really be in the way for someone to be sitting there. So I don't know how conducive this really is. And are you really going to ride with some, you know, a pillion on the back? So anyhow, just my thoughts on it. I know it's all over the place a little bit. Maybe I should probably write these things up a little bit differently and be like some of the other YouTube folks, but I try to keep it real. This is just who I am, just an average Joe Schmo doing this thing. So, but anyways, yeah, it's a great bike. BMW does build a nice machine. I just wish the seat was a little bit different. And in this engine, I wish it would play a little bit more down in second and third. And we'll go from there. So again, 5 things I like, 5 things I don't like. Thereabouts. Got a little bit of more riding, couple of riding pieces I'll show you sometimes. But yeah, it handles fantastic. That I will say about it. Suspension's great. Seat's hard. And again, I'm a big guy, but yeah, just that little bit. And I mean, I'm really kind of throttling it back and coasting or whatever, but it wanted me in that just that short time to change from a, you know, first gear to fourth gear. You can hear how quick it revs, and just wants to get up into those gears real quick. And you know, I'm at 40 miles an hour and we're doing, you know, fourth gear, which is I would think that you could probably live with in second, third gear somewhere, you know, close to that, without it, you know, really wanting to push you to get to the higher gears. I won't have a chance to get on the highway to show you, but yeah, I think it's, you know, it's a fantastic ride. You can't go wrong with it. And again, I'm 6'2", big guy, and you know, I would assume if you were, you know, a little bit smaller guy, maybe it might be a little bit more comfortable to you, but about an hour and a half on this hard seat at least gets to me. But I'm old, I'm a GS rider, and we like our little comfiness sometimes. All right, everybody, thanks for stopping by again. Life's Journey at 50, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.